Shalom, shalom. First off, I want to start by giving all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Raha Kwadash. Salutations and honors go unto the elders, apostles of great millstones who taught me this truth. I'm going to go ahead and start in 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 1. For as much then as Hamashiach hath suffered for us in the flesh, arm yourself likewise with the same mind, for he that hath suffered in the flesh hath ceased from sin. Let me read real quick in the NLT. I thought I had it pulled up. It says, 1 Peter 4 and 1 in the NLT. So then, since Hamashiach suffered physical pain, you must arm yourself with the same attitude he had, and be ready to suffer too. For if you have suffered physically for Hamashiach, you have finished with sin. Yahushua suffered on his time on earth as the Savior. We also understand that Yahushua chose to do the will of the Most High and not his own. He did suffer doing the work. If he went through it and all the things that he bared, we have to be like-minded in accepting that we will suffer in this truth and go through trials and tribulations, temptation, lust, and so on and so forth. Going against the flesh is not a pleasing thing, nor is easy in this society. We're being mocked at. We're losing worldly opportunities, being hated because of our passion to the truth and the ministry, enduring, resisting temptation, not giving in to the lust. If we do not overcome these trials during the grace period, how can we be sure to remain faithful in Jacob's trouble in the hour of temptation? Now for the quick precept for this one, I'm going to bring Sirach chapter 2 verse 1. My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Suffering and resisting is part of the purification process. And those who undergo into that process will have a higher chance of overcoming the troubles to come. In here real quick, back to 1 Peter chapter 4 verse 1, in the last sentence per se, for he that hath suffered in the flesh hath ceased from sin. That man does not live a life without sin. Is not what it means, right? But the man offends less. He's no longer walking or willingly walking in the flesh. One can only learn obedience through suffering and discipline. So now let's move to this 1 Peter chapter 4 verse 2. This is in the NIV. Quick. I don't want the NIV. 1 Peter 4. That he no longer 1 Peter chapter 4 verse 2, that he no longer should live the rest of his time in the flesh to the lust of men, but to the will of the Most High. When we choose the will of the Father, it makes us change over our old ways and not desire the ways of men. Obeying the Father's will, we are no longer believers but followers. Only the followers act in obeying, going against the old self, putting away the old man, denying ourselves daily, presenting ourselves as a living sacrifice, leaving the world behind and thinking of the new world to come. This is why a quick precept for this one, I was thinking of Colossians chapter 3 verse 1. If ye then be risen with Hamashiach, seek those things which are above, where Hamashiach sitteth on the right hand of the Most High. This is that's the mindset we have to have in this awakening. per se. We don't think of this world no more. That's why we leave it behind, because of the world that's to come. Verse 2. Colossians chapter 3 verse 2. Set your affection on things above, not on things on the earth. Verse 3. For ye are dead, and your life is hid with Hamashiach in the Most High. We, the ones who fear the Lord, understand that there will be a point in time that many of us will have to let go of the things in this meaningless world. Families, jobs, relationships, friendships. We have faith that the things we give up in this hell will not come close in comparison to the things that the Father has for us who will endure to the end. Only for those who will endure to the end. You know? So if you're walking and sacrificing these things, I don't want to say, and I speak to myself, we don't fall short, because all these things that we did will be in vain if we fall short. But we gotta put the mindset that if we're letting these things go, it's because we're looking of the things above that's to come. This is 1 John chapter 2 verse 15. Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. What a worthless individual who chooses hell over heaven. You know, we hate this world. That's why we always stressed out. I myself, when I'm with family, we chop it up and we speak of certain things, but their mindsets irritates me, because how they think of worldly things, and that does not give me peace. We hate the world. We hate these festivities. We hate the idolatry of celebrities that don't give a damn about you. You know? So that's why in 1 John chapter 2 verse 15, love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. So don't be a double-minded individual that would present himself to the Father and I worship you, and you're backsliding into this world here and then. Let me continue. This is 1 Peter chapter 4 verse 3. For the time past of our life may suffice us to have wrought the will of the Gentile, when we walked in lasciviousness, lust, excess of wine, reveling, banqueting, and abominable idolatries. Now that we are reborn, awakened by the Spirit, through the Spirit, obtaining wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, we see how we were removed from that wicked lifestyle. We should not look back at the old man, nor should we backslide to the old life, a life of disobedience, a life not worth living. Proverbs chapter 26, verse 11. As a dog returneth to his vomit, so a fool returneth to his folly. Only a worthless fool will give up heaven to enjoy the things that hell has to offer. We were given a gift that not many have by the Father through the Spirit. And that itself is the beginning of spiritual powers. You know, to understand the mystery and to understand the mind of the Most High through these scriptures. You were brought out from shit, meaningless things that you were distracted per se in the world. The Most High brought you out. Why return back to your vomit? We do not look back and miss our old wicked ways. We move forward in our new righteous lifestyle, choosing the Spirit over the flesh. This is Colossians chapter 3, verse 5. Mortify therefore your members which are upon the earth: fornication, uncleanness, inordinate affection, evil concupiscence, and covetousness, which is idolatry. We remove these things from us. The things that are unclean, the things that separate us from the power of heaven. Verse 6, for which things sake the wrath of the Most High cometh on the children of disobedience. If these things happen to those who are still in the sleep state, and they get judged by the Most High. It will be 10 times worse for someone from the truth that was awakened and fell back to the old lifestyle. Colossians chapter 3 verse 7, in the which ye also walk some time when ye live in them. We were born and raised here in Babylon the Great. We were raised to be a certain way. We were distracted. We were entertained. We never grew in discipline, but we learned to satisfy and fed our bellies, our flesh. But we never were taught by the things that they will show us in the games, in the movies, and so on and so forth, to be spiritual, to be aware of our own what's that word? Actions. We had always had that YOLO lifestyle, right? Colossians chapter 3 verse 8. But now ye also put off all these: anger, wrath, malice, blasphemy, filthy communication out of your mouth. You know, we don't act like these vatos in the streets. We don't act with emotion when they tell us things or stuff like that. We have peace through the Spirit, that we know that we have to go through this hell. We're not prideful enough to say, I'm not supposed to be talked like that. We put off these angers and wrath and malice and blasphemies and filth communications. When, like the women, they like to talk about certain people and so on and so forth. We put off this old habit that we were taught here in Babylon the Great. So like Mike Tyson one time said, that the problem with America is that through the internet, the tweets and all these things, people haven't been hit in the face because of the disrespectful nature. Because through these screens, they seem to be protected and so on and so forth. And plus, the whole discipline of a household is whack. Let me continue going. Colossians chapter 3 verse 9. Lie not one to another, seeing that ye have put off the old man with his deeds. Verse 10. And have put on the new man, which is renewed in knowledge after the image of him that created him. And that's the difference between those who are awoken, of our people, of the nation of Israel, the so-called Negros, Latinos, and Native Americans, with the 2/3. You know, we awaken by the Spirit through the gift and only being able to understand because it is of the will of the Most High to do so. This is not our own works, but Him that chooses. We get to see and understand life differently than these in the sleep state. Let me bring one precept real quick that came into mind. Bear with me. This is Hosea chapter 4 verse 6. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. This is why they're in the state that they're in. This is why they do the things that they do and are looked down upon the other nations. Because thou hast rejected knowledge is the reason why you are in where you are. I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me, seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy power. I will also forget thy children. You know? So we renew ourselves by rejecting the old man and its deeds and sinful habits, putting the new man and walking after the manner of the Most High who created us, which is our reasonable service. Now, let me go here. I'm going to read it in this, and then I'm going to bring the GNT, which I don't have it here, but I have it in my notes. This is 2 Ezra chapter 14 verse 13. Now therefore set thine house in order, and prove thy people, comfort such of them as be in trouble, and now renounce corruption. We set our house in order. The way we used to live without the Spirit, we change it how we were in our own homes, and not only in a physical house per se. I'm talking about the family, the family construct, you know. Let me read it in the GNT. 2 Ezra chapter 14 verse 13. So set your house in order, Warn your people, comfort those who are humble, and teach who are wise. Then say goodbye to this mortal life. We must be in order not only in the ministry but in our homes, living the lifestyle of a follower of Hamashiach, to teach and feed the sheep. Then say goodbye to this meaningless life, because there's nothing in this place that compares to what's to come. Romans chapter 12, verse 1. I beseech you therefore, brethren, by the mercies of the Most High, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice, wholly acceptable unto the Most High, which is your reasonable service. Our jobs, family, wives, properties, friends are not the meaning of life. The true meaning of life is to serve, worship, and submit to Yahweh Bashan Yahushai and his ways. That's the true meaning of life. That's why we were all created and awakened to worship the power of our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That's the only reason why we were all created to serve the will of the Most High, even the vessels of vengeance and the seed of Israel. But now in today's society, during the grace period, those who have been awakened by the Spirit we're only awakened by the Spirit to serve Yahweh Bashan Yahushai, not our own will. The grace period is to use it, not abuse it, to walk in the manner of discipline that the Most High requires of us in order for us to change our ways. And if we do this during this time, we will have a higher chance, and Lord willing, we are not only called but chosen for the time of Jacob's trouble. So that is all that I have today. Shalom, until the next time.